Hello everyone, it's Clint. Welcome to Sweetcast. I'm doing a cell phone video today because I didn't do videos on Saturday or Sunday. That's because I had stuff to do. I couldn't do videos. So it was actually a pretty good feeling to just think, you know what? I planned for this. I'm making videos. I want to promote Downcast 3 on Indiegogo right now. Check it out. There's only a few days left. But the other component of that is that I need to live a normal life as well. I need to make time for the family and have priorities and a well-rounded lifestyle. And so far, I'm actually really happy with the way things have been going. And I do believe what I have here is a sustainable comics model. So we're going to talk about that. That's neither here nor there. What I want to talk about is this issue, Dark Waters. This is from BPRD. I don't know exactly when this was published, but this is in volume 1 of The Plague of Frogs. So it was a while ago. And I had an epiphany when it came to this. I think is big. This is groundbreaking. So this is when SJWisms were counterculture, and I actually think that's when it was fine. It didn't matter. None of it was dangerous, and you had the best kind of art coming out of that. Like, you had Rage Against the Machine, right? Now Rage is the machine. You can't rage against it because that's how it is. So it's not counterculture. It is the status quo. This is the difference between working with somebody. There's a couple people at work that had red or blue hair, dyed very vibrantly, and they had really progressive, really extreme views, social views, and they weren't afraid to say it. And everyone kind of just shrugged, smiled, whatever. It didn't matter because they were just there to be counterculture. None of that mattered. Today, the more terrifying thing is when middle managers, HR people, boring people treat those ideologies like they're just business as usual. That is company policy. That's terrifying. So this is the difference here. Back here, this book was when politics were always in comic books. They showed up like the quirky, blue-haired, crazy, and whatever. You read through the one issue, you got this whole book. The thick book. How many books have I read through? None of it was ever political. But there's just this one that is. And you can, whatever, gloss over it, move on. It doesn't matter. It's not the best story. But it knew that it was counterculture. When it becomes the norm, that's when everyone's complaining about. That's what everyone's upset about. And surely, you could tell the difference, right? That comics have changed. So, story real quick. Starts in Silo, Massachusetts, somewhere possibly near Salem, Massachusetts, town with a pond. And cool setup. They're draining the pond as the town's beautification process. And they're getting all this sludgy, gross water out. Life is great. What did they find at the bottom of the pond? But 3 women. They look like pilgrim age women, chained up and thrown into this mucky water at the bottom of this little pond that has been a disgusting blight in the town for a very long time. So they haven't decomposed at all. So you'd think, maybe this has something to do with the witch trials. Salem witch trials? Yes, it does. So you're learning a little bit more about it. You got Abe Sapien and Roger the Homunculus here discussing what's happening. And then they have the good guy, Reverend here. He is apparently progressive because we learned that from the other preacher who finally, how many pages have we been into this? 8 pages at least. We're introduced to this guy who is a villain. He looks like Abraham Lincoln. And I don't know if that is a mistake or if it is on purpose, but he surely looks like the famous Republican president, Abe Lincoln. But he talks like Rush Limbaugh. And I'm not even exaggerating that at all. He talks just like Rush Limbaugh. Let's see. He actually uses the term feminazi. Vengeance is mine. Well, anyway, I'll find it. It's in there somewhere. So here becomes essentially the scapegoat. So this is the bad guy introduced because his ancestors believed these women were witches who miraculously survived at the bottom of the lake. Neither of this is here or there. But the way that it ends is there's a fight, and this guy, the bad guy, is basically sent down to the same fate. So yes, he did throw these bodies into the water, the ocean. Now the second time, they're dead bodies that he's thrown into the ocean. And his punishment is that he is thrown into the ocean as a symbol of Rush Limbaugh and everything from that era of politics that apparently the writer did not like. So there's the symbolism there for you, and everything ends happily ever after. There he is at the bottom of the ocean. So again, when I read through this, I enjoyed Hellboy enough to know this is a single short story in it. I don't care. You could presumably just brush through it, and wouldn't really affect the outcome of the story unless this guy comes in later, but I don't think so. And so, whatever, you shrug it off. The difference today is that this comic book, making, whatever the religious right, the villain, in some weird stereotype, this has become the norm. You have to sift through a whole book of these before you get to pages of just story content that doesn't have, whatever straw man they want to make the villain. So things have changed. Politics have been addressed very differently in comics than they used to be. It's no longer a novelty. It is the rule that is enforced, again, by the HR guy, by the whole company, the corporate board, C-level, suite, C-suite, whatever they call it. They are all enforcing this ideology as though it is the rule, the norm, the truth. And honestly, I liked it better when it was counterculture. Anyway, so let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've read this issue or if you think I'm crazy. Don't forget to check out Downcast 3. It's on Indiegogo right now. I really appreciate your support because I want to continue to make comics. So thank you so much. Lettering's finished. Editing is finished. I've still got some readers going through it, so that it's possible we could change some things with the story, but it's pretty well set in stone, and I think you guys are going to love it. So we're going to go to print very soon. I just have to, make some finishing touches on the backup story and, some of the print file stuff. So should be a good time. Can't wait to get it out. Bye, everyone.